She is a distinguished author and a beloved speaker. She volunteers weekly at a night ministry, volunteering to adjust troubled teens. She has nearly 2 decades of service adjusting in her own practice. She has been knighted a Royal Knight of the Chiropractic Round Table. She is a tireless supporter of the League of Chiropractic Women. But more than any of her vast accomplishments in this life, I love and honor her beingness. She embodies authenticity. She is hilarious. She is warm, kind, generous, vibrant, and incredibly energizing. You are definitely in for a treat, ladies. Let the alive begin.
Do you know?
Dr. Stephanie May.
Well, she'll fix it. There we go.
Hello. Ooh, okay. I'm a loud talker. I am a loud talker. It is so good to be closing you guys out here. This is so exciting. This weekend for me is, I've said it all weekend long and I'll say it again, like my favorite people in chiropractic are in this room. We have some dudes in the back now too, so they're really my favorite people in the whole wide world. And it's really an honor to be here, and I've been thinking a lot about why I'm here. What do I have to share? What's my message? What's the thing? What's my thing? It's not like, I'm not going to stand up here and talk about philosophy. I mean, Sue Brown forgot more than I'll ever know about philosophy. But I love chiropractic and I love chiropractic philosophy. This weekend has really recharged me, and it's interesting because Beth, your talk really touched me because it's going to be a lot of what I'm talking about. And really what I'm talking about is kind of the evolution of me. I came to LCW right around the same time I met my tree over there in Evanston. It was a little over 2 years ago, and it's really changed my life. And it's changed my life in a way that I want to share you. And so I'm really just going to tell my story, like what has happened to me since I've shown up here. I came here and, I had a tribe. I'm not new to the chiropractic scene, even though when I came to the inaugural event, I didn't know anybody. I came here not knowing anybody yet, seeing some energy or seeing something and having a void in my life. And I've heard people say, I was looking for my tribe. Well, I was looking for my tribe, but I was also looking for my voice, and my voice in chiropractic. So I'm here to unveil me, Stephanie 2.0. The unveiling of me. I mean, really, it's like, my friend Amy said this to me when I was talking to her about it yesterday. She said, it's called my life for a reason. I mean, when do I get to step up and have the life that I want and be who I want to be without apology? I mean, look at these shoes. What would Larry Markson say about these shoes? I mean, I really honestly have felt, when I came here, I've just felt the love from the first time I showed up at this seminar and in this organization. And so I just want to kind of share that journey and that story. And the first part is just a list of new ideas that I really had. And the first one is I win my life. And Janice talked about this. My life is not, I'm not a victim in my life. That my life is a result of the actions and the non-actions that I've taken. And for me, the biggest thing, like the level of devotion, because somebody said to me this weekend when I said Pam was my coach, it's like, well, why do you need a coach? It's like, I've been coached since 1999. I've had different coaches throughout chiropractic. I'm an athlete. I've always been coached. And for me, my level of devotion to win my life is huge. And this year, that story means me taking care of me 2.0. Or as I've said in my necklace to Denise, it's like, it's about me, baby. And it is, really. And I'll tell you the story. Like, there are a lot of different lines in the sand for people, and this was my line in the sand. As I'm in my office, and it was one of those days, and I don't know if it was a day that I was disconnected or if I was the day that I was connected, but it was an afternoon where literally from 3 o'clock till 5:30 there was a crying baby in my office, like crying. They all needed to be there, but they were all crying. So I'm in the zone, I have totally open adjusting, my staff is totally reacting to the crying, my patients are totally reacting to the crying, and all I want is a GD glass of water. And maybe, how about an almond or an apple slice? I mean, I'm just saying. And I'm like, what do you gotta do, which is the clean version of what I was gonna say, what do you gotta do to get a glass of water around here? And it was just like, it was like, whoosh. I mean, it was like a laser line in the sand, like, this is not okay. And I had a lot of conversations and I had a lot of things, but really the moral of the story now for staff, the moral of the story is your doctor is the talent. They are the Jennifer Anistons, the Brad Pitts. They're the surgeon. And when the surgeon says scalpel, the surgeon isn't roaming around the drawers looking for a scalpel. The scalpel's there. And, and when they need a sip of water, the straw's right there. And so the doctors are the same way. I mean, in my office, and I'm a new employee, so it's kind of funny that I'm talking about this, but in my office, at the top of my office thing, the thing says, number 1, every day ask yourself, what am I doing to make Dr. Mage's life easier? That is your number 1 job. Because when mama's happy, everybody is happy. Right? Yeah. But the thing is that as the doctor, you need to own that shit. You need to own it. And that's where the degree of whatever, you have to own it. And so one of the things that's really helped me is this Cheryl Richardson, this book, The Art of Extreme Self-Care. I mean, this book was, it goes chapter by chapter, as 12 chapters. She says take one a month. Number 1 is just learning to say no. That is a huge, huge thing. It's just learning to say no to things. And, for me, I always say, let me think about that, and then I'll say, I'll just have to be quiet with it for a while and see, is this the right decision for me or not? And this is the thing about women, is that we make it all look easy. You know what I mean? I mean, we're out there making it all look easy. But you know what? It isn't easy. And so when I'm there and I'm going and I'm going and I'm going and I'm making it look easy, I'm pulling from my reserves. And when I'm pulling from my reserves, stuff happens. And it shows up and it comes out sideways. And so for me, I had to ask, why do I feel like who's working for who here? And I mean, those are the questions I'm asking. Who's working for who here? And so I realized, in doing some of the work that I'm doing, that I am driven by unconscious influences. That was another new idea. I thought I was in charge of my life. And I realized one of the organizations I was a member of for 10 years, I was working on some daddy issues. The people in that organization were just like my father. And it was fascinating to me when I figured that out. And what happened when that happened is I had a little bit of people-pleasing issues, and I know that this is a room where there, I'm sure, are no people-pleasers, right? And so I have some people-pleasing things that happen, and this is the thing. When I'm people-pleasing, I'm doing it, and no one's happy, because I can't make anybody happy but me. So they're not happy, and I'm not happy, and I keep pulling, and I keep pulling, and I disintegrate. So what does that mean? That means every other minute of my day I'm getting body work and getting all kinds of work because my body's breaking down, my spirit is breaking down. All I can think about is running away. What can I cash this thing out for? And I can go live on an island. And you know what I mean? It's like I'm just thinking. And somebody said to me, why don't you blow up your own life in your own practice? And so I did. I started doing that, but what happened was I started taking the degree of devotion about myself very seriously. Because what was happening that I didn't know when I showed up at LCW, which I'm stealing totally from Brene Brown, and if you haven't seen the Brene Brown TED Talk, it changed my life. And I saw it right before I was at LCW, is that I had a little bit of a breakdown. Just a little bit. I mean, I look good, but I'm almost 50. And I have had a midlife crisis that was maybe a little breakdown, but it was like a bigger breakdown than I thought. And really what it ended up being is a spiritual awakening that led to 2.0, the unveiling of me. You know, and what I realized is that for me in my life, I was running around trying to please the men in my life. And so coming to a space that's totally free of that thing called the male gaze. And so this is a concept in film. And so let me break this down for you. So in film, there's this thing called the male gaze. And what that means is that the camera takes the view of the heterosexual male. So the camera will hug the contour of a woman. The camera will, focus on certain levels, and it puts the viewer in that role. Well, this is the thing, and this is the thing that I hear about LCW all the time. Is this like a man-hating thing, you know? And I mean, I feel for my straight sisters, but it's like, that's not what it's all about, because this is the thing. I do it to me. I look at myself in that role. So I'm living in this world, and I'm looking at myself in the role of a heterosexual male, and I'll just tell you right now, this body wasn't built for a heterosexual male. It just wasn't. I'm not that girl. And that's the thing about chiropractic is in a lot of these stages, they're looking for that girl. And I'm just not that girl. And so I never got traction, and I always felt less than. And then I come here not even knowing that I need you guys. And I need you guys. Because without it, I think there's something wrong with me. And when I realize is that there's nothing wrong with me. I'm kind of awesome. But it happened this weekend where I'll leave out the details, but ultimately I have an opportunity, and I love your analogy about mat time, because I really feel like that's what we get here, is that we get the opportunity to come and play. This is only my second time ever with the PowerPoint, you know what I mean? It's like, we get time to play with this stuff. And we get, you cannot fail in this group. But I had the opportunity to maybe have, stand on a bigger stage. And, for whatever reason, they're saying, well, she doesn't want to. But really, I was never asked. And I know why I was never asked. I'm not that girl, but I'm my kind of girl. And there are a lot of my kind of girls out there. That is for sure. So the other big thing that I've really learned is that I want to base my life on the result of my core desired feelings. So what am I going for here? Do I need more stuff? I don't. I mean, like Selena was saying, and I'm sure Mary, anybody that's done any kind of mission trip or gone overseas knows it. We are so spoiled. We think we are, I was right around the recession that Janice and I started hopping on planes to the DR in Haiti. And then I come back and people talk about the lack, and I'm like, are you kidding? These people live on $5 a week. There is no lack here, And so for me, one of the biggest reasons why I changed the way I goal set is because, you lose weight, you gain weight, you lose weight, you gain weight. I'm going to see this many people and everything's going to be okay, right? But it's not, they're empty. And so finding out these core desire feelings, I learned it from a book called The Desire Map. And this is this Daniela Laporte, I think is her name. And she's a trip, and she is a chick. This is the girliest stuff I've ever read. But she is awesome. She is awesome. And so she talks about, well, first off, how the heck do I find my core desire feeling? So I'm going to tell you how. It's really easy. Make a list of people, all the people you love. Pam and Mary, all the people that you love. If you could hang out with these people all day long, mentors, friends, my friend Suzanne, funniest person I ever met, no offense. But, yeah. And you make the list. And then you start listing, okay, This first person, they have all these attributes I love. This second person, they have, oh, look at the overlap. Oh, the third person, oh, wow, now I'm seeing a trend. And I start to see this overlap in these certain things. And this is the secret. You know, the secret is if I spot it, I got it. So all those things that you love about the people you love, you have a receptor in your heart for them. And you resonate with that. And they evoke something in you because that's who you want to be. And so if you make your goals based on that being the result, I mean, that's spectacular. And this was my, desire map when I did this. Do you think tender is ever valued, like, from this normal stages in chiropractic? I mean, I was at a seminar, and this, literally, every speaker got louder and louder until the last speaker literally was blowing out, shame yelling at people from the stage. And it was so traumatic and so awful. And yet, you know what? My sweet spots, my little tender spots, my vulnerability is an asset. And I never knew that. I always thought it was a weakness. So, for me, these autonomous women's spaces are sacred. Finding a space away from that male gaze, away from us. I mean, even with Chris in the room, it was so interesting. I fell prey to it too. He's really cute. It's like there's just something about that. He is, and he's awesome. He's the real deal. But anyway, but it's interesting, to be able to step away from that. And to really look at ourselves and value ourselves for who we are as women inside and out. And to know that we're all valuable. That we all are all enough. And that's what I love about LCW, is that it's every color of the rainbow. And it's not about how many are you seeing. It's not about the things that you do in practice or don't do in practice. It's just this group of women that I want to be when I grow up. An elegance and a certainty and a funny, just so funny, but so passionate. And if women knew if they knew what we were doing here, right? When you walked in it earlier, everybody's like, you walk in, it's a group of women, you've never been here, and you're like, oh, because women are so mean to women. We're not, well, I'm not fighting over the guys, but you guys aren't probably fighting over the guys anymore. Yet we're all acting like those pubescent little girls, and it's the time needs to stop. And really, what's happening is really tremendous. I mean, when you look at the podiums on some of the bigger stages, we're starting to make an impact. And we're making an impact with people like Mary put together speakers bureaus, and tomorrow is a result. Like some of the speakers you heard this weekend started in the speakers bureau. I was one of them. I mean, I never did this for a living. I've only done this 4 times, I think. Spoke to chiropractors. But I took that class, which is like a steal, and it's the most amazing thing ever. So we're trying to create a movement here. And so I want to share a little bit about something, because I really want you all to engage and really then bring other people. So anyway, here we go.
Find a lone nut doing something great. Have the guts to be the first person to stand up and join in.
Can our lone nut stand up here?
Yeah.
Because I'm a first follower, with this LCW thing, and I just showed up. And then I, kept showing up, and then I volunteered. And so, Pam was so, generous to allow me to volunteer on her marketing committee, and that's how I got involved. And then next thing I know, Sean says, you want a little speaker time. You want 20 minutes? You want 20 minutes, McConnell? That's what she said. You want 20 minutes? And I said, I don't know, let me think about it. And I hung up.
You said no.
No, I said, no, maybe, I don't know, I blacked out, totally blacked out. And then I walked into my office and I closed the door and I called her back, and she was getting her nails done. She's like, hello, Stephanie? And I was like, of course I would be honored. That I didn't sleep or poop solid for a month, but we won't talk about it. So I just need a tribe. But there's something that just doesn't resonate with me about that, because women circle. And I feel like we need to circle around this profession, and we need to hold hands and embrace it in a different, more nurturing way. And I really believe that we're the seeds that are going to make that happen. And I give a lot of time to LCW. I mean, I'm not on the board, but I am in. I am in. I put the skin in the game. I'm in. So I just want to encourage you all to do the same, and thanks.